Hey, what's going on? Quis here from Sports Vibes TV. And in this video, I just want to give my thoughts on the recent loss the Knicks were handed by the Denver Nuggets. But before I get into it, I just want to let you guys know I will be going live every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, with my co-host Inf for the Knicks State of Mind podcast. So I hope to see you there in the chat. We should be going live right around 8, 9 o'clock. So let's get back into this game that I was watching. Now, when I made my pregame analysis, in order for us to win, we needed to force the Denver Nuggets to play our style of basketball. And that's a slower pace, minimizing the amount of possessions and not allowing teams to get up and down the court on us. But the Denver Nuggets, they looked at us and they said, okay, we understand that's the way you want to play ball, but do you have the talent on your roster to force us to play that way? And as we saw last night, we just don't have that talent to force them to play our brand of basketball. And they were able to get up and down the court. They were a beast in the paint, and that production in the paint led them to get some open shots from three, and they have shooters on their team. So if you look, field goal percentage, they shot over 50% from the field, and then they shot over 40% from the three. And if you look at our percentages, we were terrible from three. We shot under 30. And I think the stat is in games we shoot under 50%, we don't win. And as you can see, we shot 40 some odd percent. Julius Randles was out there doing his thing. I know I've always said we should trade from him, or we should move him from the team. And I'm not going to step off that point, but you can't be mad at Julius Randles for his performance in this game. He had 29 points, 10 rebounds, and he had 5 assists. And he was efficient. I think he was 11 for 16. And what was he from three? He was 2 of 5. So you can't really fault Julius Randles in this loss. He did everything he could do to keep the game close. In the first quarter, I think he had like 8 points in the first quarter. And he was the one that was keeping us close, because I think the first quarter ended and we were down by like 6 or 7 points. And the team wasn't performing that well. We were keeping it close, but that was all on the back of Julius Randles. And once the second unit came in, and that would be Rivers, Quickly, Noel, Knox, once they came in, you saw that lead just expand. It went from 7, I think, to at one point like 18, almost 20. And they ended the quarter, I think, up 20 or some crazy number like that. So Julius Randles did what he had to do. The supporting cast just wasn't there to help him or to hold him down. RJ Barrett, once again, did not have a great shooting performance when it comes to his field goal efficiency. He was 4 of 13 from the field and 0 of 3 from 3. And I think the biggest problem with RJ isn't necessarily the fact that he's missing a lot of shots. It's also his shot selection. He's chucking from 3, knowing that that's not going down consistently. And he's still pulling when he's contested. He's not tightly contested, but still, if you were to allow the offense to work itself out or to let the play run, you might get a better look. So of those 3 3-pointers, I think only one of them was wide open. One of them was definitely contested on the left wing, and he bricked it. So we need to see more from RJ when it comes to his shot selection, and also he's got to be better at finishing at and around the rim. There were a couple plays where he got to the basket, but he just couldn't capitalize. He just couldn't convert. And I think he's too busy. He is getting fouled. I won't say he's not getting fouled, but I think he's too busy looking for the foul as opposed to trying to finish through contact. And if he misses, trying to get his rebound and put it back up. Every time he misses, it's like he's almost looking at the ref to kind of say, hey, I missed it because you didn't call a foul. Also, Elfrid Payton, not a fan of Elfrid Payton. He's still not the point guard I see running this team. He's just deficient in so many areas, and I think it's what is making our offense sputter so much. We don't have proper floor spacing, and in this plays where we're getting wide open shots, but the wide open shot is Elfrid Payton for 3 in the corner, and that's not a shot you want the Knicks to be taking. That's what the Nuggets are probably game planning for. They want Elfrid Payton to be wide open for a corner three or something like that, because they know that's going to be a low percentage shot as opposed to some of the other players that can actually hit the three. Like Julius Randles is hitting the three this season. Kevin Knox has been hitting three at a reasonable clip. You've got Austin Rivers, you got IQ, you've got other players that you would rather shoot the three, but the defense is allowing Elfrid Payton to be wide open and letting him break. So the Knicks, I want Tibbs to start switching things up a little bit. Like towards the end of the game, you saw DSJ and IQ on the court together. I want to see what that could look like. And yes, we did see a DSJ sight, and he really didn't do too much. I think he had like 4 points, maybe 1 assist or something like that. Why am I guessing? I have the stats in front of me. Yeah, he had 4 points, 2 steals, and 1 assist. So he's playing defense, and that's one thing I was giving him a shout out for in the preseason. He is bringing it defensively. Offensively, he still looks a little bit lost, but on defense, he's I won't say locking up, but he's getting steals and he's being a pest. So we saw IQ and DSJ on the court together. So I want to see some more of that. Mix it up. Elfrid Payton is not the one at point guard for us, and I think he's a major reason why we're limited offensively. So if we're able to put in a point guard or even another guard that can space the floor out a little bit, we'll also see some better production from RJ, because RJ right now is being heavily contested in the paint and he's not getting good looks. So when I see another shooter on the court with RJ, I instantly see him at least get better looks at the basket. So if we can move Payton and get a better point guard in, I think that would be good for the Knicks. Now, I touched on Mitchell Robinson and Nerlens Noel a little bit. Mitchell Robinson, I wanted to see more from him. You know, we're seeing some progress. He's not fouling as much, but he still wasn't much of a factor against Jokic. He's still not able to close out on some of these threes. The same thing we saw with Horford in the loss against the Thunder. He wasn't really closing out on Jokic too much. What was Jokic's shot from three? Jokic was 1 of 3 from 3. So the one shot that he made was the shot that I'm thinking of where Mitchell Robinson didn't close out. Also, Nerlens Noel, like I said, he got baby down low. He looks lost on defense. Whenever he's in the game, the paint is just porous. Like Nerlens Noel, like Mitchell Robinson isn't a great on-ball defender in the post. You know, he's serviceable. He's better when it comes to helping and rotating over and blocking the shot that way. But Nerlens Noel isn't giving us anything on either end. There was one play. I think it was Monte Morris, and you know they would run like a little pick action in the close to the painted area, and he just let Monte Morris get a wide open layup. And I'm like, bro, you're not going to contest that a little bit better? First of all, you let him get too close to the basket. I understand they set that pick in the paint, and it's a little bit difficult for you as a big to cover that, but you didn't even attempt to make Monte Morris, if that was the guard in that situation, consider making a play other than going up for the shot, because he was just wide open. So Nerlens Noel, we're going to need some more defensive contributions from him if we're going to see success in this season, because Mitchell Robinson is not going to be able to do it all on his own. Kevin Knox, we really didn't see a lot from Kevin Knox. I know Kevin Knox's first shot was off an assist from Quickly that I liked, and I thought they were going to start to percolate, but it wasn't meant to be, because right around that is when that run started. You know, Kevin Knox, I want to see him be a little bit more aggressive, and a lot of people are saying that we should start Kevin Knox. I still think Kevin Knox is better played in the second unit. When he's out there with Quickly and Rivers, I just feel like the team is a lot more fluid. Things are very stagnant when Elfrid Payton is on the court, and I don't believe Kevin Knox is going to get wide open looks when the team is sagging off of Elfrid Payton because he can't shoot. So that's just my personal belief, but other people feel otherwise. Now, we also had Austin Rivers, who didn't have the greatest game. He was, serviceable. He had a lot of turnovers. Only had 1 assist and 2 turnovers. Like I said, the second unit really struggled, and you can see it in Austin Rivers' IQ and Kevin Knox's stats. I want to see more from that pairing of Rivers and Quickly. But, I'm not going to lie. This was not the greatest matchup for the Knicks. And talent-wise, we didn't stack up with the Nuggets. So it makes sense that once we put our second unit in, they were able to pull away. And you saw that with the final score. We ended up losing. I mean, we pulled in close towards the end. So we didn't lose by 30. We lost by what, 25? So we lost by 25. And at one point we were down by 30. We was getting a 30 piece. So, towards the end of the game, they were able to make it a little. Losing by 25 is not even respectable. So I can't even say they tried to make it respectable towards the end. It was just a bad showing from start to finish. And I hope we can come back tonight against the Hornets and try to do better. I'm gonna drop a video breaking down that Hornets game because I think it's a similar style team to this, outside of Jokic being that big man force in the middle. But they got some shooters out there between Graham, between Rozier, Hayward, and LaMelo. So stay tuned for that. I'll drop that at some point before the game. So let me know what you think, though, about last night's game, because I think it was rough. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Once again, I'm Quis, host of Sports Vibes TV, and I'm out.
Uh-huh.